Everyone, it's Jess, and we're here to spend a day indoors talking about Survivor 49, episodes 5 and 6. We got a lot to talk about. We've got another journey, our first reward challenge of the season, and 2 more immunity challenges, 2 more tribal councils, and 2 more people voted off the island. Now, obviously, we're going to start with 5. So, this is where we are with episode 5. This episode was a little more straightforward, in my opinion, than 6. But let's start with 5. So, new Hina, is fresh off of voting out Matt at Tribal. And Jason is like, listen, I'm not stupid. I know I'm next. He's like, we could tell. I can tell what's happening here. He's like, they didn't vote me out, but my name was he did get a couple votes in the last tribal, so he's like, all right, that's not looking too good for me. He's like, uh-oh, that's not good. And even though, well, it's pretty clear that the other 5 are kind of a lock, but Juwan. Oh, Juwan. I know he's not doing this on purpose, but it's always Savannah. It's always Savannah. How is he doing this? Juwan. He's already done damage to Savannah by taking her bag and picking up sticks and shit and throwing it in her bag, dirt, bugs, pissing her off. This time, step further, accidentally takes her whole ass water bottle, drinking her water. And she's like, where's my water bottle? And Juwan's like, oh, I have it. Oh, and his is in his bag. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, not to his face. To the face, she's like, oh, darn. Crazy how that happens. Always me. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Jason's only saving hope could be that Juwan just pisses Savannah off enough to get him voted out. Because let's be real. Looking at new Hina, Sophie, Nate, Savannah, Rizzo that's a lock. That is a whole lock. I don't see that grouping here breaking up. Juwan is like kind of the only outlier. He was already on the bottom of the OG Uli tribe, so I don't see them really, picking him up and being like, we got him. Especially now that they have Sophie. Forget it. Sophie kind of knocked him out. And the chance of he had coming in. So, bad news bears for Juwan and Jason here. But poor Juwan. I just don't know how he keeps doing this to Savannah. It's kind of crazy. It's not even like, it was Savannah's bag and like Nate's water bottle. Always Savannah. And I don't know how they label them. I mean, I think they know whose is whose, but we're all we got to read the names, the initials, whatever, something on these bottles, please. But it's not all bad for Juwan. He is able to connect a bit with Jason. They talk a lot about Pokemon. Love. Big Pokemon girl here, if you didn't know. Love that. Though, Jason's like, I need to start connecting people because if we go to tribal again, I'm cooked. He connects with Juwan, which is great, but not great because Juwan, doesn't have the biggest say in this group. He is on the bottom. And even on the bottom, Juwan is like, well, I like Jason, but I'm sticking with these people. No offense. He's like, I'm sticking with my Ulis and Sophie here, so sorry. He's kind of sticking with Uli. I mean, listen, they've been saying it all season. They're gonna keep saying it. It's the Uli versus Hina war, and storms are brewing. Let me tell you. Storm is a brewing. But you know who doesn't care about that? Sage. Because Sage doesn't give a shit about a war. Sage cares that Shannon is here. And she's like, get this bitch out. Kella, it's so funny because Hina is definitely falling more along the old tribal lines. Kella, I think, is more of a mix. I mean, yes and no. I'm saying this, but not really. It's like the 4 Hina members, I think, are a lock. It's just Shannon and Sage. Even though Shannon is like saying she likes Sage, she's also not wanting to work with her, and even tells, I believe, Steven and Alex, or was it just Alex? I don't remember. She tells somebody, like, I'll vote out Sage. I think she might tell both of them. She's like, I'll vote Sage out. That's fine with me. So, clearly, no Uli strong with these two. I mean, obviously, we know from the OG Uli, Shannon was in that 4 alliance with Rizzo, Savannah, and Nate. So, Sage is already on the outs with that grouping. So, that's not kind of a shock to me. I do love that Sage is just like, I'm so sick of Shannon! Get her! What I think would be interesting with this dynamic is that, I mean, we see more throughout the episode, but I feel like it could cause a bit of divide with these Hina members, because Steven is starting to is seeing what Sage is starting to see. So he's clocking Shannon, clocking her game of working everybody. Sharky Shannon, as he called her. Christina, however, loves Shannon. So bonded with Shannon. I could see a problem there if things, go awry. Steven and Sage this side, Christina, Shannon here. MC, Sophie, and Alex kind of in the middle, but as we get a little more with Hina here, with Kella here, Sage is cooking. I think Sage, this past, these 2 episodes, cooking. I know we'll get into episode 6 later, because that's kind of where she really hits the ground running. But I really love the work that she does with Kella here. Because, I mean, it's very clear to see, okay, there's a 4-person majority here, and I am on the outs. It's not easy to just be like, okay, this person's on my tribe, from my OG tribe, and I can just, try to stick with them. But, you know what? Run the bus over and try to make connections in the tribe, because it's hard. I mean, Jason's tried on Hina, and how'd that go for him? Voted out. Didn't work. So it's a risky move to try to cut the ties that you already have, to try to form new ones on a tribe that has such a big majority. Now, what's funny to me is that it's not just strategic. Sage just doesn't like Shannon. And she's like, nobody is seeing what I'm seeing. But Shannon is just shooting herself in the foot. Unfortunately for her. She wakes Steven up at the ass crack of dawn. And is like, I have an idea. I'm cooking here. With my idea of an alliance. When they hit merge. 2 Uli, 2 Hina, 2 Kella. Nobody would see that coming. A 6-person alliance with 2 from each OG tribe. They have the connections from the other, they would have connections with the all tribe members, but they would also, nobody would expect it. That she's going off. Steven's like, the sun's not up. What are we doing? He's like, why is she being so sharky? Why is she playing so hard? It's this. Can we sleep? What are we doing? And this alliance idea is not good. Not with this season. This season is so OG, tribal strong at this point. I don't see how that would work. Maybe, look. Okay, looking at the people here. Shannon is saying 2 Uli, 2 Hina, 2 Kella. There's only 2 Kella left in the game. So she would need to pull in both Alex and Sophie. she can get Alex. She's not gonna get Sophie. Sophie is a lock with Savannah, Nate, and Rizzo. Unless maybe if Shannon pulled in Savannah. But even then, Savannah is very Uli strong. I don't see her ditching the Uli like three that the other three, this grouping here, Rizzo and Nate mainly. I'm talking about not Juwan. Sorry, Juwan. But I don't see her ditching them to hash it out in merge with like the Hinas. I don't see that happening. And it would also depend on which Hina is. Clearly she's talking to Steven, so it would have to be Steven. And being Shannon, most likely she would be looking, I'm assuming, Christina, because she's so bonded with Christina. But that could also be a personal connection. Maybe she would think something differently strategically. She didn't really name a name of another Hina member that she'd be pulling in. So, in theory, that would be Sophie, Alex, Shannon, Steven, and let's say Savannah and Christina. I just don't see that working. Because Sophie and Savannah obviously are a lock, but they're a lock with the other two Uli on the new Hina tribe. They're not gonna give that up for Steven, Christina, and Alex. No shade. Sophie, maybe for Alex, because obviously they're trauma bonded from their days at Tequila Beach. But not with the Hina war going on, not with how they've already lost Matt, and now Jason. It's not happening. It just wouldn't work. If it did, it wouldn't last long. I think maybe they could have pulled it off for like a tribal at merge, but I don't see it. I'm going, not with Savannah and Sophie. Not. I don't. Steven isn't really trusting of Shannon. She's doing too much, and that also requires her. Because listen. She's already trying to cut Sage. She already told them we can cut Sage. I don't know. It's just like, I don't see it working. I just don't see it working. Especially when, it's one thing, and maybe she had tried to say like, oh, me, Sage, you, it's because they're on this tribe now. But trying to say we could work with somebody from the other tribe with the Uli majority, if I was Steven, I'd be like, they're gonna be such a Uli strong like lock that they've already voted out one Hina. There's a second Hina in them. Like, I don't see them pulling a number for that. So I don't think that was a very good move, in my opinion. I don't think that would have worked. And clearly Steven doesn't think so either. She's like, she's doing too much. Not good. But Shannon is, like I said, shooting herself in the foot. Everybody is starting to now clock that she's doing too much. Even like MC, Steven, like, and they tell Christina, and Christina's like, because obviously Christina is very bonded with Shannon. Oh, they bonded over like their families, their religion, things like that. So it's more like a personal connection for Christina than a strategic one. But obviously you want to keep her in the game because you like her. But best day for Sage, when she realizes that Alex and Steven are sus of Shannon. You would have thought Sage won Survivor right there. You would have thought Jeff handed her that $1 million check. She was like, oh my god, I thought I was going crazy. Nobody noticed it but me. But we're finally noticing that she's doing too much. She's sharky. She's performative. She's like, oh my god. And then they tell her, oh, Shannon said she would vote you out. And Sage was like, good. Now I can come for her with no worries because she's coming for me. And I love that. This is like not related to this, but this episode made me realize, I'm like, Sage has been reminding me of somebody and I couldn't think of it. Now I see it. Jenna Marbles. She is Survivor Jenna Marbles. The faces, the way she like speaks, like the way, it's so Jenna Marbles. And I'm like, I love it. I love Sage. I really do. She is so cute. I love it. And you know what? I'm glad we're bringing back just beef. Just beef on Survivor. Not like, oh, I don't like it, but we gotta work together strategically. Like, who can I go for? She's like, I don't like her and I want her out. And I'm like, period. Fuck it. Why not? Beef. Bring back beef. We're bringing it back. But, of course, here come the boats. It's a journey. Great. So, Kella, easy pick. They're sending MC. Hina, a lot of people want to go. Nate wants to go. Savannah wants to go. Jason wants to go. And Jason is a problem. They do not want Jason to go because there's a chance you could. It's a journey. Oh my god. It's a journey. Anything could happen. You can get an advantage. You could lose your vote. Nothing could happen. And it could be a waste of time. But they don't want Jason to go and risk him getting something to save his ass. So they're doing a rock draw. Jawan rigs the rock draw. It's like, okay, 2 gray rocks, 1 white rock. If you get the white rock, you're going on the journey. He said, I put that shit right on top. I was like, here you go, Nate. And then Nate picked the white rock. So Nate is going on the journey. Jawan said, listen, I like Jason Bub. I don't like him enough to blow this up for me, so I don't need them to give them another reason not to trust me or piss them off anymore. So we're really strong. So MC and Nate go on the journey. So they get to the beach, fucking 100 sandbags piled up. They're like, all right, take the the hourglass, turn it over, move the sandbags. You do it, you keep your vote. You lose it, you lose your vote. The end. And they're like, oh, okay, so nothing good. So just keep our vote or lose it. Which is just stupid. So, once they start getting through a lot of the sandbags, there's a little board underneath that reveals part 2. Part 2 is somewhere in the woods is an advantage. They can go find it. If the first person who finds it gets it, but that means the second person who doesn't have the advantage now has to go back and finish the sandbag shit to keep their vote. And if you don't find the advantage by the time the hourglass runs out, cowabunga. No advantage for nobody. It's dead. This is this is a choice. We all make, we all have ideas. Nate has an idea. Nate's idea he pitches to MC is, how about we keep going with the sandbags and we leave 1 single sandbag left. So that way, when we get the 1 sandbag left, we can go looking for the advantage, and whoever finds it gets the advantage, and the other person just has to move 1 sandbag and they keep their vote. Which is actually a pretty good plan. Pretty solid plan in my opinion. I'm like, okay. Making deals here with the other side, and you get to keep, it's good. Like, shows like, hey, we can both get something out of this. We're not gonna screw somebody over. If, the sandbags are fucking heavy, and it's hot as shit in Fiji, so you don't want to be moving that alone. So they move all their sandbags. They got 1 left. They start looking, and Nate's like, listen. I don't need an advantage, okay? I've got my vote. I need my vote. That's what I need. And I don't need MC getting anything. So he sets MC's ass up. He's like, I'm just gonna lie and say we're running out of time and make her come back and end this. Okay? Now MC comes back when he yells, like, oh, time's almost up. And she comes back and there's like this much shit sand left in the hourglass. She's like, looks like there's still a good amount of time, but I'm tired, so let's end this. And I'm like, what? If I was MC and I came out of the woods and there was still all that sand left in the hourglass, I'm turning my ass around and going back in the woods. Thank you. I'm going back. I'm like, did you lie to me? Basically, he lied. I'd be like, so you're lying to me now. So now I don't trust you, so now I'm definitely going to go look for the advantage. What the fuck? But I guess now the problem is he would know you have an advantage and could tell the other team like she has an advantage. It shouldn't be good, but we don't know what the advantage is because MC doesn't go get it, so they just move the sandbag, and they're done. They just both get nothing, and they get to keep their vote. So literally was a waste of time. Waste of time. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. What did? Okay. Cool. So all that was for fucking nothing. Now they both go back to their tribes, warn the fuck out. They tell them what happened. Now, Kella. Now that Kella is all bunched up from MC coming back, Sage is like, this is my chance. Shannon fucks off. She wanders off somewhere. So everybody else is still sitting at the beach. Sage is like, I'm really glad we're all here together because I want to talk to you guys. And this is such a smart move of Sage, and I'm so happy she does this. This is one of the great things she does in these episodes. She tells them all, listen, I want to build trust with you guys. I want to show you that I'm willing to work with everybody, that I'm not just like a really strong person, that I truly want to be connected and aligned with you all. She tells them that Rizzo has the idol. Now, she wasn't there when Rizzo had an idol, but she's like, seeing as they lost last episode, not last challenge, he most likely has an idol now, because as they all know, the Beware advantage you find, you have to get once you go to tribal council. Once you lose, well, you're going to tribal council, you know what I mean? You can only find it once you lose. And they lost, so she's like, listen, he probably found it. He probably has an idol. And they know she's not lying because, well, MC knows she's not lying because MC has the Beware advantage, and that's exactly what hers says as well. The others don't know that, but MC is like, okay, so she's telling us the truth because that's what mine says. It's very similar to mine. And they're like, does Shannon know this? And she's like, oh yeah, Shannon knows this. And they're like, interesting that she didn't say any of this to us. So now they know Shannon, not to be trusted, because she isn't telling them. She's clearly still keeping the Uli people safe in their eyes, but Sage is willing to open up and work with them, which is so great for Sage, because obviously when there's a 4-person majority in this group of 7, you're gonna need all the people you can get, and with all these people now looking at her like, great, she's open and she's telling us all this important game information. Solid. I really was glad. I'm glad she kind of told them that. And I know it's like, okay, what if they find out that Sage told them? Sage was already on the outs with that OG Uli group. She was not in their core 4. She was on the outs with Juwan. They were gonna, if they had gone to tribal twice, it would have been her and Juwan out. Her only chance was like, would she have gone first or after Juwan, you know? So I'm not mad that she told them, because if it pisses them off, so what? They already weren't working with her anyways. But it's not gonna like she's gonna lose like an alliance that she built with them, you know? So no harm, in my opinion. Like, it's fine. Who cares? Now, back at Nate does not tell them that there was a chance to get an advantage. He's just like, oh no, you just couldn't get a vote. You could keep your vote or not. He's like, listen, I don't want to tell them there was a chance that Jason could have got it. Why? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. It's not like Jason went anyways, so I'm like, you could have just told him that. Who gives a shit? Because now if they find out, well, I guess they would know from MC that he didn't get it, but whatever. I don't know. I feel like that you could just told him. I don't know. And once again, Savannah's still annoyed with Joanne for now spying on her conversations. It's like she can't. This poor man. He's just trying to vibe. Because he's not doing it. It's not like he's purposely spying on them. It's not like he has like malicious intent. He's just there. And Savannah's like, oh my god, oh brother, here we go again. Now he's sitting behind me while I'm talking with Sophie, and I'm like, just Savannah, please. He doesn't know. He's just chilling. Good grief. Oh my god. It's alright. Now, immunity challenge. We've seen it before. The big cage they have to carry out of the water. Jump into the water. Pick up the cage. In the water. Get the sandbags off it. Carry it out of the water. Across the beach. Lock it in place. You have to dig somebody out and under. Get the ball. Undo the knots to get the balls. Throw it in. Shoot baskets. 3 baskets. You win. We know. We've seen this before. Now, there's a reward this time as well. First tribe to win, you get 3 hens and a rooster. And I see the chickens and I'm like, oh my god. Great. No, they didn't do chickens on 48. Did they? No, I don't believe they did. I believe the chickens were 47. Because that's the one where they got the chickens, and instead of killing them, they kept them to try to get eggs, and then they didn't lay eggs. So then they traded them for eggs, but then they lost immunity and didn't have fire and couldn't cook the eggs. Yes, that was 47. So chickens are back. Chickens are up for grabs. Now, Christina is the one who sits out for Kella. She does check under the bench just in case for advantages. They have been there before. There wasn't one this time. So this challenge, pretty straightforward. You just pick it up, go. It's interesting. Some people have a lead. Was it? Oh my god, why am I blanking? Hina. Jesus Christ. They were kind of out of the water for a bit, and they kind of stop. It's like they're swapping. One tribe is ahead, they have to break and rest. The other tribe surges forward, the other one catches up. It's real like a back and forth. It's very clear though, Sophie, Hina is struggling. They haven't eaten for a few days. Sophie hasn't eaten in 10 days. She's only had coconuts. She has yet to be on a tribe that has fire and food. She's struggling. And Jason, at one point, I was like, why is Jason carrying this? Jason was trying to carry one arm like that. I'm like, no. I think I think Kella does this more than Hina. A lot of the Hina is like this. Putting it, I think, on your back, the bars on your shoulders and your back is probably the better way to do it, because you can hold it. So you don't want to risk knock yourself down, but they're locked in place. They're in place, It wasn't actually very close, even though Kella had a bit of a lead on carrying the actual, box, the cage. Hina was able to catch up to them, and R-I-Z G-O-D Rizga, baby. He was throwing them basket. And they were able to catch up. It was just one basket that decided it all. One singular basket. It was 2-2. But I will say, bad day for Sophie. The poor girl cannot catch a break. They fucking lose again. Sophie's 5th tribal council in a row. This poor woman just cannot get a break. No food, no rest, another vote. She's like, oh my god. Savannah's breaking down. It's rough. They're so tired, worn out. It's hot. It's just this is the hottest Fiji has been in the 10 years we've been. How many seasons have been in Fiji? A while. And he's this is the hottest it's been. Savannah's crying. Sophie is just withers at this point. She's just vapors. She's just the essence of a human. No food for 10 days. 10 days on just coconut. And she's like, I can't. Savannah was like, she can't even stomach coconut anymore. She can't even eat it because after 10 days of only coconut, I also would be fucking sick. And now they gotta watch Kella take their chickens and go. And they do kill the chicken. They kill a chicken. I can't with that. I had to mute it. I muted it. I was like, don't. I'm obviously not gonna show them killing the chicken. It's TV. They can't do that. If they heard the audio, I didn't hear it. I will say, I think I think they did it with their hands. Why? They had Alex and Steven had to kill a chicken. Everybody had to walk down the beach and be away from that pair. I'm like, don't you have a machete? Wouldn't that just be easy? Like the quicker, just put a little thing out of his misery. No, I think they like. I guess more of a mess that way, but like, dude, like that's gross, dude. That's fucking nasty. These poor little chickens. Oh, and they did it like in front of the other chickens. I'm like, they have to watch that. Don't traumatize the other chickens. You might do it in front of them. That's so terrible. Oh, at least do it away from them. But that's all we get of like Kella post travel is like you watch them kill this chicken and pluck the chicken and eat the chicken. It's like chicken fest. Bon appetit. And then it's like, okay, we're back to Survivor. Back to the strat. It's like Hina is just like so run down. But I will say this is very straightforward because it's just pretty much like, so we're doing Jason. And you're like, maybe we'll do Juwan, but like we'll probably we're just gonna do Jason. Their main thing is just we just gotta make Jason comfortable so he doesn't play shot in the dark. So they pitch like, oh well, Jason pitches actually to Juwan. He's like, what if? Hear me out. We lock in and we vote out Rizzo. And Juwan's like, wow, good idea. And I believe Jason said in his exit interviews as well that Savannah he had talked to Savannah as well. And Savannah was like, oh yeah, let's do it. Really locking it in for him. And he's like, great. I don't know why he thought that was working. There's no way. But, at least he tried. The thing is, you know what? He would have had... I know why he's he probably said Rizzo because, he was really, really, like, a good competitor. Very, like, sociable, very liked. I think he probably would have had better luck if he had pitched Juwan. I know he was kind of bonded with Juwan, but Juwan, if he had clocked that Juwan was, like, already kind of on the bottom of the others and was pissing him off, could have just pitched Juwan. He maybe would have had better luck that way. Maybe it would have been like, you're right, Juwan is, like, kind of, especially, like, to Savannah, she'd be like, Juwan's pissing me off, Juwan's fine on my conversations, I don't trust Juwan, da-da-da. Even if it was, like, Uli strong, like, I think we'd have a better chance doing that. But he pitches Rizzo, which I think is kind of his downfall here, unfortunately, for Jason. But yeah, this was very straightforward. Like, this... It's just so straightforward. They just voted out Jason. Like, it was 5-1 on Jason. No, Jason voted for Rizzo. He didn't use a shot in the dark. I think he probably could have. Probably should have. Definitely should have. Just to fucking try it. Though I guess they did succeed in making him comfortable enough to feel like he didn't need to use it and that it was actually going to be Rizzo. But yeah, unfortunately, it was Jason voted out. But Jason was like, you know what? I can't be mad. At the end of the day, I wasn't even supposed to be here. As you know, like, Jason was the alternate for the season after 2 people were removed preseason, MC being the other alternate. He's like, you know what? At least I got to be here. I would have been home on my couch. But I'm here. And that's good enough for me. He's like, you know what? And that's great because I appreciate what you got, He's like, I had a chance, and that's cool. The odds were in my favor. But yeah, this whole episode, like I said, was a much more like straightforward one, you know? Not a lot of change up here. But episode 6, you want to talk about a change up? They said Mergatory, no Mergatory. Because guess what we got? Did you like 2 tribes? How about 3? Because we're tribe swapping again. We tribe swap again. I can't believe this. When I saw the teaser for episode 6 at the end of 5, I was like, I'm sorry. Are we doing another tribe swap? We are almost to merge. We're swapping again? What? What? I was very confused. But we swapping again. And honestly, even though I was confused, I liked it. I can't complain. Listen, it actually wasn't that bad. I do like. Because even though it's 3 tribes of 4, it's better than Mergatory, so I'll take it. It's better than you have to earn the merge. You have to earn it. No earning merge. Tribe. Back to tribes. Back to regular. I'm like, thank you. So, they're kind of gooped and gagged by this. But, you know, very interesting on paper looking at these dynamics that we got here. So, new Hina. Hina 3.0 is Rizzo, Savannah, MC, and Sophie B. Kella is Steven, Sage, Shannon, and Jawan. And Uli is Christina, Nate, Sophie, S, and Alex. Now, this is interesting. When I saw this, I was like, interesting. Rizzo and Savannah there are some people who have never been on a trip without somebody. Rizzo and Savannah have always been together. Sage and Shannon have always been together. Christina and Sophie have always been together. And now we have, obviously, with the new tribes as well, we have the connection with Sophie, now with Savannah and Rizzo. The Steven, Sage, and Shannon trio have all been in a tribe, but Steven and Sage are kind of, as you can tell, looking at Shannon, especially Sage. And then Nate is now joining these other 3 who were also on a tribe altogether. Their second tribe altogether. So we have a lot of different dynamics here, which I think are very interesting. Because there's like the OG tribals, there's the new tribes. A lot happening. Now, very, very interesting. And they are, like, shocked. They're like, oh, because they were probably expecting Mergatory as well. And Christina, unfortunately, does have a bit of a moment where I don't know if it was like a panic attack, but it seemed like she was just very overwhelmed, you know, plus the heat, the exhaustion, the adrenaline. She is like very like faint. She has to sit down, have medical check over her, like kind of help her with her breathing. But she is okay. She just had to kind of take a moment, which a moment was needed, because now they're going right into the first reward challenge. Oh, also wanted to mention, Alex is very lucky he ended up on a tribe away from Savannah and Sophie, because he did piss them off by bragging about them eating the chicken last night, and they were like, fuck him. They're like, shut up, bragging at So he's very lucky he dodged that bullet, because Savannah and Sophie would not have played with that. They would, well, Sophie maybe would have had a better love, but Savannah would be like, no. Bon voyage. Now, reward challenge. First reward of the season. Food. And these people are starving. So, the reward. First place and second place both get food. Obviously, first gets more. First place. Grilled cheese sandwiches, potato chips, iced tea, and chocolate brownies. Second place, you just get the grilled cheese. Let me tell you something. When they showed them damn grilled cheeses after the challenge, I was like, those look like shit. Listen, I get it. They're starving. They're probably grateful that they got grilled cheese. I was like, those fucking look like the worst grilled cheeses I've ever seen in my goddamn life. You made them do all that, and that's the... Some of them, like, the thin, flat. I'm like, where's the cheese? Is that bread? That looks like a slice of bread. Where's the cheese? You could tell they put one singular slice of cheese on that goddamn thing, and they're like, grilled cheese. And I'm like, no. More cheese. Please. This is not bread with a bit of cheese. There's a grilled put the cheese on the grilled cheese. Why isn't there one? Some of them look better. Some of them paper thin. I'm like, that sucks. What? But I get it. I guess, beggars can't be choosers. It's that or dirt. You gotta eat that. But, okay. My complaint about the grilled cheese aside. Reward challenge. Pushing a heavy ass cart along a track. Picking up sandbags. There's a ladder on top. You gotta keep picking up sandbags. Once you get to a pole, you gotta have somebody climb up your cart, climb up your ladder with a stick, knock off rings that are attached to these telephone pole looking ass things. Keep moving your cart with sandbags, putting more sandbags on, Those things are heavy. Let me tell you. There's at one point, the Uli tribe goes to push, and that shit doesn't budge. 4 grown adults pushing on this thing, doesn't budge an inch. They have to get like a running start into that thing for it to move. Get to the end of the track there. There's another telephone pole. They have to climb up, knock the rings off of that again as well. And then, at the end of the course, waiting for them, 4 pillars with 4 sticks, pillars, I don't know what you call them. Totems. I'm gonna call them that. And they have to use one of those flat discs that they knocked off the pole to then frisbee off all 4 of the things. Then you win. You get grilled cheese. Bon appetit. This was interesting. Obviously new dynamics. You have to figure out how to work together with some people you've never spoken to a day in your life in the past 11 days of the show. And those things look heavy. Especially with add more sandbags. Literally, like I said, Uli, running start couldn't move that shit. But Kella was really behind. But we're able to catch up quick, flew through it, ended up in first people to the ring toss. The frisbee toss here. Let me tell you something. Rizzo. What the fuck does that man do? Does he play ultimate frisbee? He, like the first 3, knocked 3 out right away. I was like, Steven was throwing him the other direction. I swear to God. Like, he's aiming over here and it went, what? And I'm like, that wasn't even close, Steven. Not even close. I'm like, what does this man do? How many sports does this man play? Because he was doing good at the baskets in the last episode too. I'm like, oh my God. I said, that's how you keep yourself in the game. Because they're like, we need him. He's clinching this shit. Now. I mentioned Kella's lead. Kella blows their whole lead. Because they cannot throw these discs to save their lives. So, unfortunately for Kella, they do not get reward. Hina clears through this thing, no problem. Sophie is so ecstatic. This is the first meal she's had in 11 days. And Uli is also able to knock down it was literally like the last totem of each of them, and they just beat Kella. So Uli gets a second place reward. And oh my God. Is this the best day of Sophie's life? Poor Sophie finally gets food. Ugh. Let me tell you something as well. Very funny moment from this guy here. When Jeff goes back and he's like hunched over, out of breath. And Rizzo's like, you tired? And just like, whoo, you know, it's hot out here. I'm tired. Woo. And Riz kind of goes, welcome to Survivor. I'm like, oh, get his ass. Get his ass. He's like, oh, are you're having a hard time? Are you? Oh, I thought it was Survivor. Yeah, you're having a hard time. It's crazy. He's like, when was the last meal? We haven't eaten. We're sleeping on sticks. You probably got a nice bed with AC to go back to. We gotta go sleep in some sand and bamboo. Welcome to Survivor. I was like, period. Get his ass. Oh my god. But yeah. Hina gets their feast and Uli gets some grilled cheese. Now, I already mentioned them grilled cheeses look like shit. They get 2 each, which I guess is nice, but they don't look like good grilled cheeses. But obviously, they're very happy, especially Sophie, who actually gets something that's not coconut for the first time in over a week. She's like, I actually feel alive right now. I don't feel like I'm going to wither away. I actually feel like a person that can function and think and breathe. Now that I actually have food in my body. Thank you. And MC, poor MC, is like trying to bond with them so hard over the grilled cheese because she's like, oh boy, this is not good for me. I am not safe here. And she is so correct because she could not have been stuck with a worse trio for her. Literally, like the tight 3 out of that new Hina 2.0. Rizzo, Savannah, and Sophie are like probably the most tight 3 in there, and that's oof. Especially like Rizzo and Savannah, who have never been apart this entire game, have always been together. Savannah immediately bonded with Sophie, like that. Oof. She was like, I am cooked, and because she has yet to lose at immunity, she still has the Beware advantage. She still has no vote. She would have to go find her idol, but she has a little something she could work with, which I mentioned earlier in this video. She talks to Rizzo. She's like, Rizzo, I have to tell this to you. I'm not gonna say this in front of everybody because I don't know who knows out of that grouping. So, but I'm gonna let you know right now that Sage did tell everybody on New Kella that you have an idol. So pretty much probably everybody in this game knows that you have an idol. And Rizzo's like, great! I mean, Rizzo's like, I'm not shocked. I should know. This is Survivor. Nothing good, no good secrets stay secret. And he's like, I'm scared, but I'm not. Because it's like, not everybody knows that I have an idol. He may be a target. But also, when you know somebody has an idol, you're like, he has an idol. Ooh, I want to mess with him. You know, you don't want somebody to start playing their idol. Your plan blows up. So Rizzo's like, it could be good, it could be bad. I don't know. And then he's also looking at Sage, like, whoa, why did Sage tell everybody that? But like I said earlier, Sage was already on the bottom of the OG Uli. She was never their number 1. It was not like Savannah told somebody that Rizzo had a... Then he'd be like, what the fuck? But it's Sage. He was not bonded with Sage. He was not working with Sage. It's not a big, major blow to his game. Now, New Uli. They have their grilled cheeses. And... Nate, like MC, girl, you're in danger. Nate's like, uh-oh. Literally the same exact, genuinely, look at the exact same situation. 2 members of the enemy tribe and then the one Kella person that they scooped up. It's honestly shocking how that is mirroring. It's like literally the exact situation. And it's kind of crazy. And Nate's like, uh-oh. That's bad. I'm on the bottom. Literally, like, MC, is now on the bottom for the first time in the game, and is like, this is bad. This is not good. And then he's also looking at Sage, like, whoa, why did Sage tell everybody that? But it's Sage. He was not bonded with Sage. He was not working with Sage. It's not a big, major blow to his game. Now, not good for me. And he tries to lie. Now, he talks to, we're asking about tribal, because Christine and Sophie have yet to go to tribal. Alex has been to so many tribals. And they're discussing the votes. Because Christina and Sophie were not too happy when they showed up, and Jason was gone as well, because now that's two of their old tribe members gone. And Nate tells them, oh yeah, you know, like for us, Matt was kind of the easy vote, but Jason, man, Jason, it was so hard. I was actually working with Jason. I was trying to keep him in the game. We were gonna we were gonna make it through in this game. Lies. He doesn't want to tell them that he's really strong, obviously, because they would just vote his ass out. But he is trying to lie and tell them, oh no, I didn't want Jason out. I was working with Jason. We were good. Unfortunately, they're not buying what he's selling. They're like, who was he actually working with? Because there's no way it was Jason. Like, what? Literally, and this scene is like the first time Sophie S is in this show. Beyond talking about food in the confession, this is like the first like actual like strategy confessionals and attention on Sophie S. They're like, it's like they remember like, oh yeah, she's in this too. Like literally, it was to the point where in other videos I haven't had to say Sophie B. I've just been saying Sophie, because she's been the only Sophie that's been relevant, because they have not shown Sophie S at all. And which kind of sucks because I like Sophie S. She's very like tough with it. I like her. Now, and she's clocking Nate as well. She's like, come on, let's be serious for a moment. You're with 4 of your tribe members, and you want us to think that you're working with Jason? Okay, we can see how the votes went. Thank you. Now, Kella 3.0. They have no reward. They just gotta go back. Well, they have the chickens still. The chickens are on the loose. Jawan was happy to see Sage and Shannon again. And Steven, he's like, on paper, I'm a bit nervous because it's 3 Uli and me. Not good. Not good at all. But this tribe is a tribe that I think is the most interesting of the 3, just on the dynamics alone. Because if you look at the other 2, you say they go to tribal council, it's pretty straightforward. It would be MC and Nate going home for both tribes respectively. With Kella, I think is the most interesting, because there's the very obvious OG tribal makeup of, the 3 Uli members, and Steven, you could say, oh, they're going to stay together, they vote out Steven. Sure. But there's also the dynamic of Sage, Shannon, and Steven were all on Kella 2.0 together. Without Jawan, they could team up and vote out Jawan as well. And there's also Sage, who hates Shannon, Steven, who is also sus of Shannon. They could vote out Shannon together. Could they pull in Jawan? Maybe. Spoiler, by the picture, yes they can. And vote out Shannon and cause a major shakeup. Start taking a hit at Uli. Cannibalism, maybe. Eat our own tribe members. I think the dynamic was the most interesting of the 3. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that it was them that went to tribal, because I couldn't take another straightforward tribal. I couldn't do it. I'm glad we got them, because it was definitely the most interesting of the 3. For sure. Like, by a long shot. And now all of a sudden, Shannon's Uli strong. Uli strong. She's like, Jawan, you, and Sage. We got this. We're Uli strong, because now her plan. What happened to 2 Uli, 2 Kella, 2 Hina? What happened? How'd that go? What happened? All of a sudden, she's Team Sage again, and Sage is like, oh brother, Sage cannot get away from this woman. And especially issue as well with Jawan and Stevens, who are very much clicking quick. They're like, oh my god, I've been wanting to meet you so much, and they're bonded. So Sage and Shannon are like, well, what? We'll see. Now, I'm trying to look at my notes because they just kept flashback to Travis and I kind of roll over. Now, back to the Uli. So, Nate is their target. They're like, listen, we'll just get Nate out of here, but we gotta make Nate comfy so he doesn't play shot in the dark. Christina's like, yeah, we can get him comfortable. Yeah. And we could just tell him we're gonna vote out Sophie. And Sophie does not like that at all. Sophie's like, what the fuck? Me? Are you out of your fucking mind? So Sophie immediately pissed. Instantly. It is now talking to Alex like, okay, so that's not happening. Me and you are gonna lock in, and maybe we can vote out Christina. How about that? It's just a very funny like confession where she's like, you already have one Sophie. She's like, I could be your new Sophie. She's like, I could be your Sophie. I could be Sophie too. Which is very funny to me. But yeah, I don't know why. Listen. If I was Christina, I wouldn't have said Sophie's name. I would have said Alex because it makes more sense, I would think, to Nate, because Christina and Sophie already have, the OG Hina Strong alliance, tribe lines, Like Alex, you could be like, oh, he's not in our tribe either. He wasn't in our OG tribe. He was in a different tribe. We can vote him out over you. And I think that would be more believable to Nate than, okay, we're gonna vote Sophie, who is from the OG Hina, because listen. The OG Ulis are very aware how Hina strong the OG Hinas are. So I don't think they would buy. Even if they weren't that, if that wasn't really the case, if they weren't actually that Hina strong, Uli thinks they are. So to be like, let's vote out, we'll tell him Sophie's name. I'm like, I don't think that would have worked. I think you would have to have said Alex to actually have sold that. So Sophie's not pissed. And looking at Christina. Like, oh, so I'm expendable to you. So what am I in this game to you then? If you're willing to throw me out as a decoy and risk me going home. Not good. Not good at all, in Sophie's opinion. Now, going back to Hina up there. They have the only people who do this. I can't believe nobody else thought of this. Or if they did, they didn't show it in the episode. When MC wanders off, it's Rizgod, Savannah, Sophie sitting there. And they're like, should we go look for an advantage? And see if maybe there's something hidden? I'm like, brilliant. Why did nobody else thought about that? No one else considered. Maybe they put something back out there now that the tribes have shifted again. So they go looking, and Sophie finds an advantage. And she doesn't tell Rizzo or Savannah that she found it. She gets knowledge as power. Which, if you don't know, is an advantage where, at Tribal Council, you can use it and you could say to somebody, do you have an advantage? And they have to tell you the truth, yes or no. If they say yes, you get it. It's yours now. You're like, oh, you have an idol? Mine. Oh, you have like a what do you call it? Safety without power. You have a steal a vote. You have an extra vote. It's mine now. Only one though. If they have more than one, you can't take all of their shit. You get one. If they don't have anything, SOL. This happened. This has been used before, several times. It's a power. It's an advantage. It's something. But Sophie's got it. So she's got the little. I gave her a little light bulb, like knowledge, ding. Like the little light bulb. I thought it was cute. I was gonna put a K, and I'm like, it's kind of boring. Just a K. I like the little light bulb for knowledge is power. And Sylvie keeps it to herself. And no other tribe. I wish the other tribes had gone to look as well. Like, take anything. Oops. Take anything you can find, you know? But nobody does. Crazy. So. And it's good till final 6. I read I literally paused the screen when she was looking at the paper. It says good till the final 6 people. It's not bad. And Kella. Going back to Kella, it's still Sage versus Shannon, a war that Shannon doesn't know is happening. Sage is so sick of Shannon. Shannon thinks she's on top of the world. Lucky girl syndrome, as she says. Still doing too much. Now trying to be Sage's BFF, even though she threw her under the bus on their old new tribe. Sage is like, I can't string Sage is like, I can't get away from her. I love when Sage is just like, makes a face. She's like, yay! And it's like the camera, like, when Shannon's not looking or like walking away, she's like, great. Like, it's so Jenna Marbles. I love it. I love it. It's ridiculous. It's great. It's so entertaining. I love beef. Just start beefing. I love beef for no reason. Just beef. Just start beefing, girls. The girls are fighting, and I love it. Thank you. Now, immunity challenge time. No double tribal, no mergatory. Just one tribe goes to tribal council. And I'm like, woo. It's Survivor, and you never freaking know with these people. Okay? One tribal. So, what they gotta do? Big ol' like net seesaw, I'm gonna call it. You know, they gotta climb up the net, tilt it down to get across, start moving sandbags once they're across onto a platform to make a stack that somebody can stand on to then untie a bag full of sticks and twine. You then use the sticks and twine to make a long pole to reach across the grass to knock a key ring off of a pole from your platform. The key you then use to unlock a bag that contains the ball to do a maze puzzle. A 2-person maze puzzle. First person to beat it all wins. Or first 2 tribes to beat it, win. Very interesting sandbag strategies from the tribes. Uli stacks they're all like this, like a one skinny little tower. I'm like, what on God's earth do you think you're gonna do with that? And then it falls, and I'm like, who's shocked? Not me. Why would you do that? Hina and Kella just kind of throw them in a pile. Hina's is a little, it's not as neat. Kella's a little more strategically sound. But Hina don't even need it. They just throw that shit in a pile like, we got MC. And they sure do, because MC flies through that shit. She just goes, and done. Moves on. Plus she's tall, you don't need the height. Let me tell you something. MC, she is killing these challenges. She, like, no problem. She is just like, okay, we gotta do this. Done. I'm like, wow. And she was an alternate. That's crazy. She wasn't supposed to be there, and she's like flying. I believe, what was it? It was like, I literally saw the stat today. It's like she's like the first person to never lose like a single like tribal immunity challenge. She won them all. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. That is wild. And I'm like, I'm not shocked by that because she's so good. Now the stick portion of this, Christina, I don't know what Christina was doing. Steven and Sophie, who were doing their portion, had the idea, the correct thing. You tighten your so it's solid and not like Christina's, which was like this. And she was trying to like throw it like a rope at the key, and her drive behind her like, so maybe don't. And then she was like only tightening the ones in the back. I'm like, Christina, you gotta tighten the shit out of them. Daddy, firm. She's like, they were like so flat. I'm like, Christina, they were like falling behind quick. Like they were getting like, like Kelly, they were like leagues. They were doing the maze, and Christina is still trying to lasso this shit. And I'm like, girl, tighten it. I was like, I'm like, why wouldn't she tighten the front ones? They're like hanging like this. It's just like all. But she finally gets it. She finally hooks the keyring. She doesn't even get it all the way to her platform. It falls, and she has to like drag it to her platform to pick it up that way. So they're able to get to the maze. And now Hina is like so leagues ahead. They clinch the shit pretty quickly. Like they have Rizzo and Savannah on the base puzzle, and they're like hive mind. They get that shit pretty quick. Uli has a lot to make up with because obviously they're a bit behind because of the run so far. Fortunately, I guess unfortunately for Kella, fortunately for Uli, Kella really fucks up this puzzle. Like they aren't just jerked out. I'm like, what are we doing? They're like not coordinated, not in sync. They like fling the ball out of the. I'm like, oh my. They're like jerking. I'm like, oh. Like Jawan was like yanking that thing. I'm like, please, slow. Why are we yanking a maze with holes? The ball. Slow and steady. Why are you yanking this shit? So Kella, they're like literally both almost to the end. Kella drops because they're just not coordinated with this at all. So Uli is able to surpass them and win. So once again, different people, same thing. Kella's going to tribal. First tribal council for Steven, Sage, and Shannon, and also for the first time this whole damn show, this is the first time Sophie me will not be a tribal. When Hina won, she was like, thank God. She got food and she doesn't have to go to tribal. Woo, she got like 1 week off. Otherwise, if they had lost again, she would have been at literally every single tribal council. Because Merge, spoiler, is next week. But they managed to save Sophie from yet another tribal. And poor Alex is also safe as well. No more Kellas touching tribal. No more OG Kellas, excuse me, because now Kella's going to tribal again. And first tribal ever for Steven, Sage, and Shannon. Now, Shannon, who, as I said before, was starting to be like, Uli strong, is like, actually, what if we just get rid of Jawan? I'm like, so much for Uli strong. She's like, actually, I'd rather start with Steven, and we can just get Jawan out. And Sage is like, I don't give a fuck what anybody else knows. She's like, I'm voting for Shannon. I don't care. And now, this Sage, Sage puts in the work to get Shannon out. And this, honestly, could not have been a better grouping for Sage to get this done. She has Steven from her old new tribe, however you want to say it, who is already sus on Shannon. They've already had conversations in the past about how they're not feeling very trusting of Shannon, how they are sus on her behavior. So that's a plus right there. And she also has Jawan. Now, obviously, Jawan was not on their previous. It's so hard because there's 3 different tribes you have to talk about. It's like 3 different tribe histories, but Jawan was from their OG tribe. But what is important here is that while Shannon was in that Core 4 alliance, Sage and Jawan were not, and they were both very aware of that. They had a conversation back in the OG Uli tribe about nobody's saying any names to me. They're not saying any names to you. That's bad. We are probably most likely on the bottom. So they already have a connection over that, being on the outs with their Uli tribe, and they know Shannon was on the in, not including them. And now, Shannon has handed the ammo on a golden platter of, let's get Jawan out. And Sage is like, tell me less. That's all I need to hear. Spills everything to Jawan. Oh, Jawan, Shannon wants to vote you out. When we were at our old new tribe, Kella, she was running my name to them right away. And Jawan's like, what? I love Jawan talks, and he's like, his eyes are like this. He's like, wow. He always looks like so surprised. He's like, what? He's like, really? She ran your name that quickly? Like, mind you, they were there for 2 cycles. And she had already spit out Sage's name pretty quickly, like a couple days. So Jawan is like, wow. And now she's saying my name. What happened to Uli Strong? He's like, we were just having conversations before. We were hugging. We were like, oh yeah, we're together. We got this. And Jawan's like, what the fuck? However, Jawan's hang-up is Uli. The other Uli members. He's like, man. But if I vote out Shannon and take a shot at our own OG tribe, he's like, I'm gonna piss off the other 3. I'm gonna Rizzo, Savannah, and Nate, because they're close with Shannon, especially Savannah and Nate. They really like Shannon. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to yell. So I want to be like, Jawan, who cares? Because they were gonna vote your ass out. They're not a number for you because they would have voted you out. If it wasn't gonna be Jason last tribal, it was gonna be you. And if they had gone tribal, if they hadn't swapped again and they had gone tribal again, it would have been you. It would have been you if there was no tribe swap at all, and they just kept going with the 2 tribe dynamic, and Hina lost. Your ass was grass. So it doesn't. I say fuck it. Who cares what those 3 think right now? Because you weren't good with them anyways. You were on the bottom. Savannah's been pissed at you because you're spying on her conversations. You're drinking her water. You're taking her bag and filling it with sticks. So I'm like, these aren't numbers for you. Yeah, you have the OG tribe dynamic and you have the majority over, the Hinas and the Kellas. But even then, they have Sophie now. And they're probably going to put Sophie over you. So at this point, I say probably smart for him to lock it in with Sage, who he already knows is not in the in with them, who's on the outs, not in their alliance, on the bottom of OG Uli. And Steven, who he can see, is working with Sage a bit here. And that's also a plus because now Steven has the connections with MC, with Christina, with Sophie, with Alex being on their tribe now as well. So that's a plus for Jawan. He can start building better connections, new connections, people who trust him versus his old tribe who wants him out. So I think voting out Shannon, maybe people don't agree with this. I think this was the move. I definitely think this was the move. And I'm really glad I went through. I was not sure how it was going to go. I really, really did not know if they were going to vote out Shannon. Because they were also looking, maybe what if we vote out Steven? What if we vote out Jawan? This was the most up in the air tribal we've had, and I'm really excited. I was really glad about that. I don't like when it's straightforward. When you go and you're like, all right, well, I already know what's going to happen. Like, that's not interesting. I like a little bit of a shake-up. Especially when Shannon. So, they go to tribal. The other 3 are like, oh my god, because they've never been to tribal before. They're like shitting and shaking. Oh my god, that was the worst sentence ever. I can't speak, but you know what I mean. They're gagged. Now. This is a blindside. Shannon does not know she's going. And she does vote for Jawan, so it was very justified for Jawan to vote her out because she did, in fact, vote for him to go. This was interesting tribal. They were talking about openness. We're so open. We're open-minded, open-hearted. There's nowhere to hide. It's just 4 of us. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I don't care. But we do get when Shannon is voted out. Blindsided. Not expecting this. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Loved all good. I wonder how all good it actually was. but we'll never know. She's like, hugs, 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 hugs Jawan, hugs Steven. Sage is like, I'm not gonna hug you. We get a handshake. She's like, I don't want to hug you right now because it wouldn't be genuine, and I want to hug you when it's actually genuine. And I'm like, oh, I love Sage. I love Sage. I love her. She's so great. She's like, well, I'm not gonna hug you. She's like, I'm just shake my hand and we'll move on with this. Thank you. And she's going, all good. It's all good. Walking on the bridge, all good, guys. It's all good. I'm like, how all good was it? Because it don't seem that all good anymore. But Shannon is gone. And guess what? Next week, maybe, it's Merge. The Merge. We're merging. It looked like from the preview that they're going to be at Kella Beach. And they all have, like, dark blue buffs. So we're moving on up to the Merge. Which means, yet again, I have to make new graphics. When there's something. I was a little mad. I was like, okay, I got my two tribe ones. And then they were like, we're tribe swapping. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. I gotta do these again. And then it's like, we're merging. And I'm like, fuck. Again. Yeah. But yeah. So that was the episode. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, going from 3 tribes to 2 tribes back to 3 tribes, especially when they're in these tribes for like what 2 days, 2-3 days at most, since they're merging now. I was like, how is this gonna go? I don't know, but it actually worked out really well. Especially, I think we got lucky with the tribe that was picked. Well, the tribe that was picked, but the tribe that lost. Because if it had been one of the Hina or Uli, I don't think it would have been as interesting as of an episode. Because it would have been a lot more straightforward. I know there's a little bit, with the Uli tribe, with Sophie not being really happy with Christina throwing out her name. But I think she ultimately probably, I feel like Nate would have still gone after all that. I don't know. But, I'm glad, it feels bad to be like, I'm glad they won the tribal, but I'm glad they won the tribal because it was the most interesting result. I really could have seen it going either way. But, like, Sage was so headstrong, like, we need to get Shannon out, and we need to get her out now. Sharky Shannon, as Steven said again this episode. So I am glad that it went that way. I think that was definitely the most interesting result of the 3 tribals that could have happened. Obviously, this was not good for Shannon. Honestly, Shannon says she has lucky girl syndrome. She said it this episode, and she does not. Obviously, because she was voted out. But looking at the tribe she was on, could not have been worse for her. If she had gotten any other Uli on her tribe, I think it would have been totally different. If she didn't have Sage would not have been, when they were like gun for her, so she probably would have been safe, and they would have just gotten out Steven, or depending on who it was, maybe even Jawan. Or if, let's say Sage was there and Jawan wasn't, let's say it was like Savannah or Nate, who were good with Shannon, they wouldn't have voted out. I don't think they would have voted out Shannon. They probably would have gone for Steven, or maybe even Sage, if Sage was pushing so hard for Shannon. It could have been a tie, or maybe they could have convinced Sage to be like, we're not going to vote out Shannon, we'll vote you out if you don't vote out Steven. So maybe it would have been Steven going out, or like maybe they would have tied it, and who knows what would have happened. Maybe they could have pulled Steven the foot out. Who knows? But for Shannon to get the 2 people in Uli who she was not working with, the person that from her old new tribe, there's so many tribes, it's to be with Jawan, who she was, I'm just going to go person by person. It's easier for my brain because I can't explain this that well. There's so many different tribe layouts to discuss. It's like crazy. So, Jawan being there was bad for her. Obviously, in her OG Uli tribe, he wasn't in her alliance. He was on the bottom. And he was aware he was on the bottom, not a number for her. Sage. She made it thought she was good with Sage. She wasn't, because she ran Sage's name out on her Kella tribe. Sage did not like her on a personal level due to the over Christianity performative talks that she had, the spiritualness. And Sage also, from the OG Uli tribe, was not working with her, knew she was on the bottom of that tribe. Steven, while they weren't obviously on the same OG tribe, that also helps as well. The Hina Uli War. Now they get a number out of the Uli tribe. On their old new Kella tribe, new old, however you want to fucking, you know what I mean. The 2 swap Kella. He was very sus of Shannon. He was probably the most sus, distrusting of her out of the Hinas. And hell, out of probably Alex too, but Alex was getting there as well. But he, out of the 4 Hinas that it could have been, he was the most, like, he called her Sharky Shannon. That tells you everything right there. If it had been Christina in her place, Shannon would probably be safe, and they might have probably voted out Christina, because I don't think Sage wouldn't have been able to flip Christina. I really don't think so at all. So yeah, it was a very unfortunate, like, group of people that Shannon ended up with. Very good for Sage, very bad for Shannon, clearly. Now, I am really excited for Merge because I want to see how the Shannon vote out changes things. Obviously, the other 3 Uli are close. They're a lock. They had that alliance with Shannon at the beginning, and they're kind of Uli strong. So I am very curious to see their reactions to finding out that Sage and Jawan voted out Shannon. That she's gone. I mean, they were already on the bottom, as it is, and the OG Uli. But now they've definitely probably have pissed. They're probably going to be pissed. Definitely at least Savannah and Nate will be pissed. And they're not good for Jawan, who's already out to them. But I guess if you're already, ship's already sinking, might as well just fucking go with it, you know? And now they've lost a number in this Hina war. I mean, they still have Sophie as well, so it's not like they're deplenished. But now they may not be able to as trusting of Sage and Jawan, especially if they realize they voted with Steven. They were like, oh shit, now they're working with Hina. So in their brains, they may be, oh my, okay, so it's Rizzo, Savannah, Nate, Sophie, 4 versus MC, Steven, Sage, Jawan, Christina, the other Sophie, Alex. They're like, oh shit, are we outnumbered now? Are we actually Uli strong? Has this war actually not really been brewing? Have we fucked things up? Like, you know, they've been going like, Uli strong. We have all 6 of us going into Merge. We're gonna do it. And it's like, uh-oh. I don't think they're gonna be trusting of Sage and Jawan anymore. So I really am excited to see how this. I think this is gonna definitely be more of a shakeup, for sure. And this affects the other side as well, because Christina was very close with Shannon. Now Shannon's gone. Steven voted her out. Is Christina gonna be a bit wary of Steven now? I don't know. I just want to know how. I mean, Alex is gonna be probably happy. Sophie hasn't really spoken to Shannon at all. How is she going to be feeling about this? I mean, is she going to be she probably will stick with the Savannah side of things, but there's also the Alex side of things as well, her other deep connection in the game. It's just it opens up a lot more paths that I think are very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how it goes. I don't know. I like Merge. I like when we have all these open opportunities. We have, how many people left? I have to count. Oh, 11. I was going to start counting. I'm like, oh yeah, 4, 8, 12, minus 1, 11. 11 people. Whew, I'm excited. I am excited now. I think Merge is going to be a blast. That's kind of all I got to say. Episode 5 was, like I said, a bit more straightforward. Episode 6, I think, was probably the most exciting of the season, since we had the tribe swap, new dynamics, and the first tribe encounter that I was like, what's going to happen? This is really up in the air. So I'm very, very excited about that, and I'm very excited for episode 7 this week. I'm excited to hit the Merge. Like I've already been saying, I'm excited to see how these temporary tribe swap dynamics and the vote out affect things, especially more on the Uli side than anything, because they've been going Uli strong in this Uli versus Hina war, but I think Uli's about to fracture. They may have the numbers, but do they have the trust? Not really anymore. Who knows? So looking forward to that. So that's kind of all I got for today. Let me know your thoughts below on the episodes. I forgot there's 2 episodes, plural. What are you looking forward to with the Merge? Do you think this tribe swap back to 3 was cool? Do you think it was stupid as shit? Let me know. A lot of mixed opinions. People don't love the 3 tribe setup. People definitely prefer 2 to 3. But let me know your thoughts below. What are you looking forward to in the Merge? What do you think is going to happen? Are the Ulis gonna stay Uli strong, or are they gonna shatter into the wind? How is this OG tribe war gonna happen? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you want. You could subscribe. No pressure. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Look forward to Survivor 49 episode 7 coverage coming this Friday. Also, coming up on Thursday, Guts and Glory, episodes 5. And I actually think it may be episode 6 as well. I think I read today that this week's will be a 2-part. I think both episodes episodes 5 and 6, the last 2 episodes, will be coming out at the same time. So we may be wrapping up Guts and Glory this week. I don't know. And then, of course, on Sunday will be The Amazing Race 38, episode 7. And now I know you're saying, hey, what about 5 and 6 for The Amazing Race? Don't worry. That's coming tomorrow. They will be out. It will be out tomorrow. I promise. Scout's honor. I don't know why I did that. I think I meant to say Pinky Promise. I said Scout's honor. You know what I mean. It's coming. So, that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm having a blast with this season. Well, I'm having a blast with this episode. And Jeff did say post-merge, second half of the season was really good. So hopefully we start ramping up. And we have. I think we started a little bit. I think this episode 6, was a bit of a up from where we were. So hopefully we can just keep going up and we get a really good merge. All right. That's all I got for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And, I'll see y'all next time. All right. Whoop. Blur it out there. Bye.